Is it playoffs? Is it showing improvement week in and week out? What is the metric we're going to use? There's got to be one, because remember something. In 2022, there's 11 draft picks, 3 in the top 10, and I believe they're going to be 3 in the top 10 now, because Carson Wentz has got that Colts team at 5-5 right now, and they're in the mix for the playoffs. So it is going to be a number 1 pick. Congratulations, Eagle fans. Unless this guy gets hurt. Let's knock on wood here. Joe, you know who it is. It's Big Silz in the house. Do you know what you guys have done to this show? You've got Jalen Hurts' mom commenting on the show now. And it's all because of you guys who check us out here on the National Football Show. How cool is that? And by the way, her takes are damn good. I mean, hey, man, you could tell that she is absolutely a student of the game. Pamela Hurts, man, I do this to you. Thank you. It's a tremendous honor, man. Because as a father who has a daughter that's playing collegiate sports right now, Division I rugby at Grand Canyon University, it's hard to hear criticism, isn't it, of your son. But always remember this, your son's doing something right now. You want to hear a stat? You got a better chance of being an astronaut than you do on playing in the National Football League, let alone being the starter on an NFL team. There's better odds that you'll be an astronaut. So your son's doing things that we all dream of doing. Tremendous. And I thought your takes were spectacular too, by the way. She asked me if I was a hater of Jalen Hurts. I wouldn't say I was a hater. I would say this, I was a non-believer. I was a non-believer. Am I getting closer to believing? I am. I'm getting closer to believing. Got some numbers that I want to throw at you here, but before we do this, we love to start the show out by thanking everybody who becomes part of the show. You guys are just rock stars, man. Guys, you know what I am? I'm just kind of like the traffic cop here. You guys are truly the rock stars. Eastside Monster, Muhammad, Ewing, Jeff. I mean, right, let's go, Jeff, right? Let's go, dude. I'm with you, man. I want to thank you guys. And some of you guys are out there going like this. Hey, man, you know, I'm starting to believe too, but always know this. Look, you guys bring content to the program. We slide it in. You guys absolutely are part of the show, and I make it so. I've got a bunch of stuff that we're going to hit on. By the way, Rob Stone from College Football at the bottom of the hour. We'll talk about these quarterbacks that Howie's going to get a chance to look at, and we'll talk to Rob Stone. He is the desk host for the college football on Fox every single Saturday. You see him with Reggie Bush and all those dudes. He'll be on with us at the bottom of this hour here. But as I tell you, as we start the program here, know this. You guys are a major part of the program. All right, let me get to the open here. These next 3 ball games, as the Eagles sit at 4-6, are going to tell me a lot about the direction of the team moving forward and going into the 2022 draft. Because you have Saints this weekend, Giants and Jets. You have an opportunity to be 7-6 on the season. 7-6 with a quarterback with limited starts. Do you know the other quarterback that's really playing well right now that's a young guy? What a shocker. It's another Alabama quarterback, and he's up in New England, and his name is Mac Jones. And by the way, that New England team can beat anybody in the league right now. They're a scary team. They are a scary team. What's the number one thing Mac Jones is doing right now in New England? He's not turning the ball over. Jalen Hurts, as I said yesterday, wins ball games unconventionally. It's not something we see. This is why we questioned Lamar Jackson. Can you win a Super Bowl like that? Can you win a Super Bowl with a guy getting his ass hit like that every single play? Can you win like that? That's why we question it. It doesn't look like Peyton Manning. It doesn't look like Tom Brady. It doesn't look like traditional quarterbacks that have been successful in the NFL. This is a new breed of quarterback. RPOs, especially when you have a salary cap error. And why is that important? Well, when Howie has to make a tough cut in the offensive line and get rid of one of those millionaires up front, you got a quarterback that can get out of harm's way and out of harm's way. Okay? He can cover some of your deficiencies if you have to get rid. Same thing with Russell Wilson for years up in Seattle. I think these next 3 games, I don't think they just define the 2021 Eagles season. I think they define Jalen Hurts. I think these next 3 games can change the perception of how people look at him. 2nd round draft choice. He's been given the keys. He hasn't earned the keys. Remember something, what I'm going to say here, this is not his job. He's still in an audition. He has not won this job yet as the starting quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. He has not, and I don't care what anybody says, he's not won this job yet. But these next 3 weeks can dictate how Howie Roseman, the owner, and the franchise think of him. Am I right? You pull this team up from its bootstraps and put it at 7-6, you're going to make everybody in Philadelphia go, man, we may have something here. What does Jalen Hurts have to do? Not to keep this job because, as I said, he does not own the job. What does Jalen Hurts have to do to win this job? Is it playoffs? Is it showing improvement week in and week out? What is the metric we're going to use? There's got to be one, because remember something. In 2022, there's 11 draft picks, 3 in the top 10, and I believe they're going to be 3 in the top 10 now because Carson Wentz has got that Colts team at 5-5 right now, and they're in the mix for the playoffs. So it is going to be a number 1 pick. Congratulations, Eagle fans. Unless this guy gets hurt, let's knock on wood here, the Eagles are going to have 3 1s. Unprecedented. What is the metric you're going to use to say at the end of the year, let's go forward with him? Playoffs? Improvement? Statistics? Or all of the above? If he continues on this projection, and I've written some numbers down here, 294 completions he's on track for, 3,200 passing yards, 21 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, 62-2 in completion percentage, and 92 QBR. Oh, and 925 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns. 26 touchdowns? 4,500 yards in total offense? I don't know. That sounds like a 2.0 version of Steve McNair. I asked you this question yesterday. Would you be cool going forward with Steve McNair as your starting quarterback? I would play for Steve McNair, which means I will play for Jalen. He's showing toughness. leadership. Like Jalen's mom said, 5 different offensive systems in 6 years. Think about how smart he is then. The most underrated asset of any black quarterback when an analyst is talking about him is that they never start with smarts. This kid is brilliant. To have that many systems and to play at Alabama and be the Southeastern Conference Player of the Year. Get your Oklahoma team to a Final Four. Showing improvement as an NFL starting quarterback. I'm impressed. I am impressed. I am impressed. I mean, guys, I'm trying to come up with what the metric should be. Because, look, or follow me here, and then I'm going to get to all you guys' takes here in a minute. By the way, please do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button for me here. You guys have been sensational. Yesterday, it was like 100-0. You guys were tremendous in all the likes. Thank you so much. But the metric that I'm trying to think, what would be the one metric? Inspiring his teammates around him? Maybe this is the metric here. It's not so much about the statistics that Jalen Hurts is going to put up. Maybe it's what the running game does. Maybe it's what Watkins does. Maybe it's what Smith does. Maybe it's what Goddard does. Maybe if we see those numbers coming along and we see everybody in the offense and we see the defense playing their ass off, and all of a sudden you got a great atmosphere in your locker room and you got belief in the locker room. That's who you go to war with. Does it sound like I'm getting on the bandwagon of Jalen Hurts? The more I talk, the more I'm convincing myself of it. As a person, I love the kid. He's getting better and better. And no, Mrs. Hurts, it wasn't that I wasn't a believer. I mean, it wasn't that I was a hater. I just wasn't a believer in the kid. Now I am. Well, we have bumps still with speed bumps on the way to figuring this out. We're still going to have speed bumps. Look, Tom Brady just got his ass handed to him by the Washington Redskins. Did you see what happened to Matthew Stafford last night? Oh, and by the way, can I show you guys something that the Philadelphia Eagles figured out 2 weeks ago? Do you know what happened in that Rams 49ers game last night? Oh, and Krause Jr., where was your boy last night, Aaron Donald? Your boy was on his back. Why was that? Because as I've said the whole time, Aaron Donald is the worst at playing the run. 2 tackles for losses, but do you know what the 49ers did? Do you know what the 49ers did? They went just like this. I'm going to run it right here. I'm going to punch you in the mouth, and there ain't a damn thing you can do to stop it. They lined up and kicked their ass. They ran the ball down their throat. That's how you beat the Rams. You know how you beat the Rams? Don't finesse the Rams. Pound the Rams. They can't stop the run. Teams who can't stop the run are finesse defenses. Teams that can't run the ball are finesse offenses. The Eagles got an attitude about themselves. I'd like to see the Eagles play that Rams team. Let's go play 60. You got all the superstars. You got the Jalen Ramseys and the Aaron Donalds, and you got Odell Beckham and Matthew Stafford. Fine, let's go play 60. Let's line it up and see if you can stop the run, because I don't think you can. I don't think you can. That's their kryptonite. Rams can't stop the ball. They can't stop the run, man. What's the metric? Convince me on what the metric is to figure out whether or not how, or hey, do you still draft a quarterback no matter what? But here's the difference, guys. I'm going to get to your thoughts in a sec here. I promise. Or do you think it determines on how well he plays? Follow me here. If Jalen Hurts continues his progress and continues to get better, doesn't that determine whether or not you draft a guy in the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth round? That may make Howie do this. Well, let's draft a kid in the second round or third round or fourth round. If the Eagles draft a guy in 3, 4, and 5, guess what, guys? They believe in Hurts. You'll know what the Eagles think of Jalen Hurts come draft night. And we'll pretty much have an understanding of what the direction the Eagles are going to go at the end of this season. I think we're going to find out over these next 3 weeks. Big Chris says losing Woods really hurt the Rams. No, it didn't. Had no bearing on that game last night, Chris. They lined up and just kicked the hell out of them. They ran the ball down their throat. I mean, they just absolutely punched them in the face. Punched them in the face. Eastside Camden for Life says, Howie will always draft a quarterback no matter what the round is. As a matter of fact, Camden, I absolutely subscribe to that mentality. I think if I was a general manager, there would not be a draft that, after learning what I see with Tom Brady, finding a guy like that in the 6th round, every single draft that I have, I would make sure that I drafted a quarterback. It just determined on what my needs were, whether or not it was going to be a high draft choice or a low one. King Music wants me to apologize to him because he picked the line. He picked, that they were going to go in there and beat Denver's ass. All right. Watch this, King Music. Sure. They shocked me. You must have had the game plan because nobody saw a game plan where they were going to run the ball down their throat. That's not what their trends have been. Their trends have been 15, 14 times to run the ball. Over the last 2 weeks, they have found some magic in running the football. They have found the strength of the team. Basically, they have found their identity. Robert says, old school smash mouth football, hit them hard and hit them direct. Robert, that's what the Eagles are doing right now. That's exactly what the Eagles are doing. They're lining up with their best assets right now, which is the O-line, and they're knocking people off the ball. Totally. Just Mike says we're going to dictate from now on. You know what you do with that mentality too, Mike? You know what you do with that mentality? You may not win every game you're in, but you know what you're going to do? You're going to make sure every team that walks off the field with you went like this. Man, that team is a tough-ass team to play against. Holy cow, man. That Eagle team is physical. Go back to 17 and figure out what people were saying. Remember what people were saying about the Eagles in 17? Were you not doing this? Let me tell you what I was doing from 30,000 feet. I was going like this. Watch. Man, that team is tough. I'll tell you what, man. Every game I watched them play, I thought they won because they beat teams up, both on the defensive front and on the offensive front. I went like this. Dude, yeah. Hey, man, that Eagle team is a rough group. They're big and they're rough. Holy cow. By the way, I'm going to talk to Rob Stone, who covered Jalen Hurts too for Fox Sports. As I said, he's the desk analyst. I'm going to get his thoughts on Jalen Hurts and also these quarterbacks and how he's going to look at. East Camden says draft Devin Lloyd. Dude, I put that guy on my All-American team. Marco says cornerback, safeties, linebackers, all three in the first round. And then a veteran wideout, right? On the other side is Smith. And Watkins is your third. Pretty good-looking wide receiving core with your tight end. Dallas Goedert being there too, right? That's a good-looking group, dude. Okay, you get somebody that like Antonio Brown on the other side of Smith. Man, that's a pretty good-looking group. Pretty damn good-looking group. Dev says we look like Spartans out there from the movie 300. I love that mentality, Dev. Holy cow, that's my favorite. Dude, I love that. I'm just going to go out there. I don't care who wins. See, that was the old Jimmy Johnson mentality. I don't care if we win. I just care this. You ain't running the ball and scoring on me. You know what was funny? When I played for Jimmy, I didn't know what our records were at all ever going into games. And I didn't know what the opposing team's record was. I just wanted to go play 60 minutes of football against you. Hey, that team's 6-2. Oh, great. Okay, super. I don't care. I'm going to go play 60 minutes, man. I'm going to play lights out football every play. Every freaking play. Every play. Jeremiah says that you have Janice Rieger on the team still. Yeah, well, that guy won't be on next year because it's a new day here in Philly. Alexander said they said Hurts was only Tyson Hillish. Now I say Hurts is balling. We see a guy here that can maybe do some tremendous things. Robert says, did you notice what Tampa did? They drafted an offensive lineman in the first round to protect Tom. Absolutely. Did you see what the Chargers did too? They went out and got that first rounder. No question about it. No question about it. 3,200 passing yards, 23 touchdowns to 8 picks, 92 quarterback rating, and 930 yards rushing. I don't know about you. That's a first-year starter's numbers? And we're going to piss on that? I don't know. I don't know if I see anybody in that draft that makes me do that. Okay? I don't. Robert, run the ball 40 times. If you run the ball 40 times, Robert, you'll never lose a game. That means you're having success. That means you're beating. Robert, do you know when you run the ball like you saw San Francisco do and you saw what the Eagles did against the Broncos? When you run the football like that, you know what that does? That makes the defense helpless. You're helpless. You're standing on the sideline and you're helpless. There's nothing you can do about it. It's like having one arm tied behind your back and you're playing defense. Bob says, I think some of the fan base complained to Jed York and put a little fire under Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan's got to win some games, dude. I thought Garoppolo was great last night. All right. Guys, listen. Keep posting. Keep doing me a favor. Keep hitting that like button. Rob Stone from Fox Sports, college football. I want to ask him about all these quarterbacks and how he's looking at. He was looking at those two kids from North Carolina and from Pitt this last week. Is there anybody worth drafting in the first round? And I want to get his thoughts on Jalen Hurts. A little bit of college noise. We'll get right back to you. I want you to think of one thing, though. What's the metric that will let and allow Jalen Hurts to win this job moving forward? What is that one metric? I haven't thought of it yet, but I'll tell you soon. You tell me what you think it is. Keep it right here on the National.